For Geriatric Grand Rounds. Our speaker today is Jodi Waterhouse, and the topic is what have we done by 2031? The future of the CUH's multidisciplinary challenge. Our last and final Grand Rounds for the academic year is going to be the 30th of May. Our speaker is Emily Stover, and the topic is TVD. Our next club will be next year. Dates also to be determined. Other announcements following today's Grand Rounds, you'll receive an email with the recording for today's presentation. And included in that email will be an online evaluation. Please submit questions in the chat or Q&A or virtual with us this morning. And to introduce our speaker, Jodi Waterhouse currently serves as the Director of Outreach at the University of Colorado and Chief of Medical Sciences Multidisciplinary Center on Aging. Since joining in 2019, Jodi has been instrumental in driving forward initiatives that enhance the lives of older adults through education policy and community engagement. Under Jodi's leadership, the MCOA has been seen significant legislative successes, including helping to get passed Senate Bill 158 in 2021 and Senate Bill 31 in 2023, both of which have been pivotal in establishing geriatrics incentive and training programs available across the state of Colorado. Her efforts have also led the MHA medical campus to become the first designated age-friendly university in the CU system. In her current role, Jodi continues to forge significant partnerships across various sectors. She collaborates with 5 MHA medical campus health sciences schools, colleges, medicine, pharmacy, dentistry, public health, and nursing to expand educational, research, and outreach initiatives. Her work includes managing and creating partnerships with community, industry, and governmental agencies, thereby enhancing educational and research opportunities both statewide and nationally. Beyond her administrative duties, Jodi holds a position as the Vice Chair and Higher Education Representative of the Colorado Commission on Aging, appointed by Governor Wallace, and served as President of the Colorado Center for Aging Board. Her commitment extends to working closely with elected officials, community organizations, and nonprofit advocacy groups to develop new programs and policies that advocate for older Coloradans. Jodi's career in standing up centers, business development, and community engagement began at the University of San Diego, where she spent 23 years. There, she had the role of Director of Community Engagement and Business Development and was the Director of USP's University of the Third Age, the only youth age program in the U.S. that provides educational opportunities for individuals aged 55 and older. Jodi holds a bachelor's degree in marketing from Quincy College and a master's in healthcare administration from Chapman University in California. Her career is marked by dedication to improving the health and well-being of the elderly, showcasing her as a leader in geriatric administration and community engagement. Warm welcome to Jodi Waterhouse.
I know. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Now I'm going to take 5 minutes off of my presentation for that introduction. But thanks so much for having me. I'm truly humbled to be here. When I get invited to present at Grand Rounds, I sit in awe of all of you at Grand Rounds. I have to admit, half the time I don't understand exactly what you're talking about, but you guys are just amazing, and to call you colleagues is really pretty cool. So thank you for inviting me. This is a real honor to be in your midst today. So today's Grand Rounds is going to be slightly different than what we're kind of used to. We don't have a clinical trial to present. I'm sorry, scientists. I threw in a pie charts, but then I took them back out. I was like, maybe we should have some slides just so our data people will stay engaged. But sorry, take those out. Today, I want you to kind of just sit back and relax a little bit. Kind of think through certainly what I'm going to present that the center is doing, but more importantly, how that might interact with your work. The center is here for all of you. The center is not Jodi. So we want to make that really clear. Some of you are very engaged in the center. Others of you are on the sidelines, and some of you don't even know that the center exists. So we're going to hopefully change all of that today with some ideas about what the center currently does, which I hope percolates some new discoveries in your head. We want to take you on this journey because we are in strategic planning mode. That we want you to start track to 2031 while you're sat here. And to really think about what do I want to achieve professionally in the next 7 years? And can the center be a role in that? We would love to be. Is there anything we can do to help that? So, and then we're gonna actually have a bit of a group activity. I know there's some eye rolling, but this is really where you're all going to do some work. Doesn't typically happen at Grand Rounds, so like to shake it up a little bit. So just for those of you that don't know exactly what playgrounds I get to play in every day, the 4 pillars of the center really are the 4 pillars of the university. So when you're at university presentations, quite often the initiatives of the university before the end, they're going back and forth in these pillar areas. So on any given day, I might be in kind of 4 of the pillar areas. I might just hang out on 1. But when I'm in these areas, I'm creating, developing, stewarding, implementing, integrating, and or evaluating with my friends, including some of you. So that kind of gives you an idea of sort of the areas, the lanes that we stay in within the center. So what are some of the buckets within those lanes that the center is involved in? So I'm going to start today taking this high level, so across campus, not just thinking about what we do within the division and or the center. So obviously from a campus perspective, we spearheaded the Age-Friendly University Initiative, but we also have some grants that are large organizational capacity grants that I'll talk a little bit about. In our community and education bucket, spend a lot of time stewarding stakeholders, inviting stakeholders to come join us, sniffing out where we might find really relevant partners for the work that we're doing and building those collaborations. On the grant side, a few of you have invited us to be a part of your grants, for which I'm very grateful for. So I'll talk a little bit about different roles that we serve within grants to maybe percolate some ideas. I, of course, had to throw fun in the middle because, as you know, that's what I like to do. We all work hard, but we want to play hard. The advocacy hat that I wear has been really, really cool. So I'll dive a little bit deeper into that and the opportunities that we have as a division, as a center to do policy change across the state, if not the nation. And then for future, we're going to tie a little bit into our strategic planning that we're working toward for our retreat in July. So let's take you kind of high level. We're going to start with the campus. So prior to us becoming an age-friendly university, I set up an age-friendly university task force. I guess I might have been fairly confident that we were going to do that, but I had to do that because, again, if I go to the chancellor with this idea, then it looks like Jodi's passion project. Jodi just happens to like older adults, and so why don't we become an age-friendly university? And so I need the appropriate people on my team who are my eyes and ears across campus. So in fall of 2021, hand-selected folks who had an interest in this area from every school and college here on campus, some divisions, institutes, and centers. Currently, the task force is made up of 25 CU and student representatives, either clinicians, researchers, or staff. But really important to have older adults a part of this age-friendly work, because we want to make sure that we're an appropriate age-friendly campus where we're welcoming, we're accessible, we're easy to navigate, and people want to come here. I will tell you, most of the time when I'm in the community and I say handshakes, they say, "Oh, I would never go there. Way too big. We don't know how to navigate parking, all of that." So they're trying to change that. And then the task force decided, okay, what are we going to do first? And the low-hanging fruit that we all deal with daily in our work is the built environment. The built environment here is not super stellar. We make people park far. We make them then try and figure out a parking kiosk that may or may not work. We have no signage that then takes them to the appropriate building. Once they're in the building, they're not quite sure which floor they're supposed to be on. So immediately across the board, everyone said, can we please tackle built environment? as long as we can just get some signage down here, we can get some parking kiosks that work. So we tackled that first. So a year ago, I teamed up 17 pairs. So it was a community representative and an Anschutz representative. And the Anschutz representative walked around campus, greeted their pair, and then walked around campus with their pair, seeing and hearing and experiencing through the eyes of an older adult who's coming to campus. Very powerful exercise. It's powerful both for the older adult, because they had a lot to say about all the different things that they encounter when they come here. And then certainly for the folks that come to work here every day, but kind of don't realize that there's not actually a time on that person to direct someone where they need to go. So then in January of this year, Katie Nearing and I went to the chancellor and his leadership team, and we presented the recommendations and the improvements that we thought were probably again fairly easy to obtain. He immediately sat across from us at that table, looked across at his leadership team and said, "Why are we not doing this?" He said, "This is a shame that we have this many issues that are a problem when you come to campus." So he immediately assigned his vice chancellor leadership team. They went out and assigned their team. There is now a task force that meets monthly. I was just at the meeting on Wednesday. Already 2 crosswalks have been changed. Woohoo! That you don't have to pay over here and crosswalk down there. You can actually crosswalk from the pay station and the Vail parking lot. They are so committed to this. It just warms my heart to see this happening. I literally sit in those meetings and I'm like, yes, this is so great that they're so committed. So we will present the next round of recommendations to the chancellor in July. They will build a budget to help support some of these changes, and hopefully we will get moving. So that a picture from the tour? Yes. Yes, so that's a pair. So that's Steve Houston, our older adult representative, and then Lindsay Paquette from Human Resources. And then this one was showing the leadership team. We had a bunch of photos like this of where our older adults are struggling when they come to campus. And this is one that she has to lean over her walker to actually even open the door. And the other bummer part about this is once she got into the bathroom, and Kathy needs to this because she was with her, there's no button to let her out. So we have her desk stuck in the house. So that's not a great approach. So $12,000 for a button to push and open a door, but they literally say in this meeting monthly, you know, we have to pay that. I mean, that's just what we've got to do. So having the photos is hugely powerful.
Jodi, just an update, they added the handicap button to the CTRC clinic. I got done.
Fantastic. We're really targeting the new building first because there's so many things wrong with it. So, and even the chancellor agreed. So we're targeting that one first, but paying attention, obviously, to parking lots.
Just tell them Joe Biden's coming every day.
At Monday's meeting, they actually quoted, and this was amazing, signage. And he showed me, he's like, "This is the signage you're thinking about." And it's on top of the building. So, you know, when you are standing from the parking lot, you can look over and go, "Oh, research 1, you know, ed 2. But on the buildings. And I was like, well, wow, I was thinking about just a sign in front of the building. So this is very fun. So, we're making a difference. We're elevating the voice, right? So your first development is the other thing that we really have kind of shaken up around here, and that is all credit to Katie Nearing. So creating our ORS workforce program across campus. As you know, we talk about ORS a lot. I'm pretty proud of it. Next Thursday, we graduate our 5th cohort of ORS. We have 61 graduates. So far, 18 have been hired. 3 are in the interviewing process right now. We are starting to expand hiring off of campus. And I just yesterday had a meeting talking with our advancement people about how do we get ORS in industry. So we need ORS in pharma, we need our ORS in med tech. And when they want to work with us, we have ORS on our team, especially if we're doing something in aging. So we're working on that. So those are just some of the roles that our ORS also do. Research, so I put a big arrow, this is sort of the research data thing, it's not really data, but sort of researchers look at this. So our research roadshows, which we leave actually in 2 hours and head to Salida. We've got 150 people waiting for us tomorrow at our research roadshow down in Chaffey County. Again, all credit to Dr. Nearing. Aim 2 of her grant is to create these two-way experiential learning opportunities. It's not about researchers just one way giving their information, but instead getting the information back from the participants who are actually doing the interactive activity or engaging in some type of feedback. So the numbers have been pretty impressive. I know there have been a couple research teams that actually really got their entire recruitment number within one research approach. So that has been hugely successful as well. So moving us kind of more into the community and education bucket, Posted, we love Posted. Big shout out to Sarah Teeds, Jana, and Scotty Church, who started this program during the throes of the pandemic. We were literally 2 weeks into the pandemic, created the connection program between our CU students and our seniors clinic patients at the time, because neither, patients weren't coming to clinic, nor were the students able to get their clinical rotation experience. 1,000 pairings, 1,000 phone calls happened within 2 weeks. What happened then is that the long-term care community got word. Could we also have something like this? Because you remember just the horrible images of people putting their hands up together through the windows. So we said, well, we could try it. So we reached out 45 long-term care facilities from across the state that right away and said, please pair up your students with our residents. Of course, then word got out year 3 when the community dwelling for adults also felt very isolated and lonely. So we opened it up to the community. We are now in year 4. We have paired over 500 Geriatric students and COSTED participants. So really, really proud of that. And that would not have been possible without Sarah, Gina, and Scotty. So also we've been awarded, which is very nice, national award from the AAAs. We have had student participants, even though maybe just a couple from our Colorado School of Public Health. We're working on forging that relationship a little bit more, but we have had students from all the college and MHA participate. And what's kind of neat about the program too is we bring the students together once a month, and we do a specific in-service on a geriatric topic, so they can continue to build their geriatric tool chest, so that when they do finally become clinicians, they have something to fall back on. And the percentage of the comfort of communication between our clinicians and older adults has greatly increased. We are moving into kind of our year 4.5. So the future of Posted is that our next 50 funding ends June 30th. So we're coming up on the end, but more and more groups around campus are asking for older adults to come do role playing. So they are now our geriatrics. So College of Nursing, excuse me, they use them yesterday or earlier this week. We talked with NP Psych. They are very interested in having them role play. So there's starting to be pockets around campus where our Posted folks are becoming very attractive to actually be doing direct learning. So what we're going to do probably this next year is divide Posted. If you want to be a geriatric campus, great. If you want to continue your phone calls with your student, great. So we're going to continue that. Geri care everywhere. This is one that still lives in a community and education bucket, but also lives in our advocacy bucket, because this would not have been possible if it wasn't for the state of Colorado and our legislators who really, really valued this education. They realized that we have a dire shortage across healthcare disciplines of geriatric trained specialists, and are willing to invest a lot of money into this. So had this been introduced this legislative session, never got it. This has been a brutal legislative session. So that we snuck in 2023 really has worked out quite well. So we have been building with a consortium of 9 other healthcare disciplines from both Anschutz and other universities a new certificate in geriatric care. That will be rolled out in the fall. Each discipline has 2 trainees that they can put through the program. The students will be doing the 5 M's. So thank you to many of you sitting in this room who will be instructors in that program. They also, kind of the unique thing is that they're going to be doing interdisciplinary didactic learning. So as a pharmacy student, I'm going to be learning what a speech therapist does. As a dental student, I'm going to be learning what a social worker does. And then they actually get to go clinically rotate within those interdisciplinary areas. So really, really exciting program to have a consortium of faculty from all different disciplines sit around a table just like you are here and be highly collaborative and be from other universities. Higher ed sometimes doesn't play well together. Honestly, Carrie and I sit there in awe that this is even happening. I mean, it has just been beautiful to watch. So we will then repeat the training. Once we kick it off in September 24, we'll repeat in 25. 2 more trainees come through the program. They are, and what the state really liked about supporting this is that those trainees become training trainers within their clinic. We know that we can't ramp up in the state quick enough, just educating 2 trainees per discipline. But once they get into their clinical settings, they can now train each other. So that's a really exciting program. Oh, look how happy our colleagues! Look how happy our colleagues are that they're at the research symposium. Oh my gosh! Yeah, isn't that a great photo?
You should actually put it like on one of the walls.
Well, I'm doing it.
Wrap the door.
I love it. That's what I should have done on your floor, actually. Or Wendy's for that matter. So anyway, conferences and symposiums are a great way to bring community to us, or to people to the community, to really showcase what it is that you all do. And so, Rocking the Geriatric Conference, I was fortunate enough to be asked to participate. I know Jana and Andi were running that back in 2022. So that was my first intro into the conference. And as you can see, we did very well. And it was really, really well received. But because we only do that conference every 2 years, you know, I don't like to sit idle. So I was like, our researchers need a little showcasing as well. Why don't we build a community symposium where we can highlight our researchers? So for those of you that were there in October, again, 2 emails, sold out completely, 160 seats and 205 bodies. So that was interesting for a while. We had 25 plus speakers. Some researchers across campus, I didn't even know they were doing research in aging. I mean, that's what was so like, wow, okay, come on over to the family. This is fantastic. So we did TED Talk like format talks, and then the research roadshow components so that the attendees could go play. And that is such an important part of just the research process. Not just sitting and listening to a researcher go over their data, but instead, why is this included in me? So guess what? We are going to combine those in September because we are back on for hosting the Rocking the Geriatric Conference since it was in Salt Lake last year. So mark your calendars. You will not want to miss September 19th and 20th. We're going to do the conference and the symposium. So we have a clinical focus and a research focus. So super excited, and that program's coming along very nicely. So moving us now into more of a community industry bucket, and Politech is really an initiative that we get to kind of play more with industry. And this is really Carrie's baby in building this research network. We launched it last May, so it's been a year that we've been meeting, really successful. Kathy, we now have over 200 on the list, 220. Great list for, again, researchers. If you want to get in front of industry, primarily post-acute long-term care, home health, assisted living, each month you have an opportunity to present And then we also have a presentation from our industry and our community partners. So we will be hosting a one-day conference in September. So if this is a space that interests you, I highly recommend you get involved with Caltech and see our good friend Kathy for that. So let's move now into the grants bucket. So thank you again for including the center in your important research. Here are just over the last year, some of the grants that we've been involved in. So obviously we are heavily involved in Katie's R24, which is the home of Oars and Research Roadshows. Just wrapped up literally last week with Emmy Betts on her R1 dementia and firearm safety. Next 50 has been funding COSTIP for the last couple of years. The School of Dental Medicine has moved us in. And then, of course, we were at the beginnings of when VESPA started. So just to give you an idea, what our role is in each of those grants, and it might percolate some ideas as you're building your grants of how you can include the center if that's appropriate. So as I mentioned with Katie's grants, we lead the research roadshows and are involved in the community stakeholder engagement. With Emmy's grant, I actually helped her nationally recruit stakeholders, and I led the national advisory group that she had. Obviously, we administer the COSTIP. We're going to be doing some heavy coalition building, School of Dental Medicine. And then we launched the community advisory group for VESPA. So advocacy, just really quick, you kind of know about this. Been busy the last couple of years. Obviously, our first bill back in 2021, the loan forgiveness, which some of you in this room are taking advantage of, which I'm thrilled. I am thrilled that that is happening. Please keep spreading the word because there's a big pot of money that still needs to be used. Obviously, our Geriatric Everywhere, which is Senate Bill 31. And one that was not necessarily associated directly with the university that I was very involved in, and that was eliminating the birth date from job applications. Because first kind of layer of ageism right away, you look at someone's birth, high school high school graduation date, birth date. And you kind of roughly know how old someone is by when they graduated high school. So we eliminated that. The supporting bill this year for that, which was workforce data collection, so we can really get a better idea of the story of what's going on with older adults employment in Colorado, did not pass. So that's a bummer. So fun, of course, we had a lot of fun in the center. Wish of a lifetime, we do the annual Valentine's Day rose delivery. Thank you to the clinicians, Wendy and others who help us with that. Look at that sweet little face. She is so excited to get her card and her rose. That would say probably she's a seniors clinic patient. We do the annual Alzheimer's walk, which we always have team MCOA, so come join us in September. That will be September 21st. And then professional development. We do a lot of webinars. We just did one obviously with Hillary last month, but we have done over 150 webinars, presentations, panels, all kinds of different things. We have reached over 1.5 million people. Part of that too was a big boost during the pandemic where I used virtual because obviously we were all stuck in our houses. I got into living rooms I would have never been able to get into it. So our collaboration with AARP National, their tellers town halls during the pandemic were over 1 million people, and a few of our clinicians participated in that. So it is your turn. Made it to the o'clock. All right, just split in here. So it's your turn, and we want you to pick a friend that I have with my buddy Jim Westcott, and there's going to be groups of 3 of you. But before we start, I want to kind of take this opportunity to kind of put us into 2031. Pretend we're on May 16th, 2031. I want you all to close your eyes. So if everyone can kind of just sit, close your eyes. This is. Where's the man hero? Close your eyes. Think of you're in 2031. Think what has changed kind of professionally. How old are you? Old. What is your current age, I should say? What is your current age in 2031? What changes in your family have happened? Have there been some deaths? Some births? Are you all dreaming about being on an island somewhere? Not here. Okay, so because of our time constraints, we won't do a whole semantic hero meditation here, but kind of think about professionally, where do you want to be by 2031? What do you currently have in the hopper? What is not even in the hopper or on your radar yet? That you would like to achieve by 2031? And then where do you see yourself and your work integrated potentially with the Center on Aging? Since we are a center, both the division, but also for campus. So as you're thinking about this, think about collaboration also across campus. That the center can certainly help elevate that work and let people know the great things you're all accomplishing. So we're going to take just a few minutes. We're going to do what excites you about your work for 2031. Break into groups of 3. You all should have a piece of paper. We have to collect this paper because our facilitator of the strategic plan, I'm sure, is online and listening intently and taking lots of notes. We're going to share this information with her, which will help her better build our strategic plan in July. So let's take 5 minutes. It's 8:02, so we'll come back at 8:07. But turn around to your partners. If we do some threes or our back row people join. So just do this question first. 5 minutes. What excites you? Okay. No.
Oh, that's.
What's that on your? What is that? Oh, breaking our team private. Oh, okay. Okay. Back up. So sorry. I know, but insanely quick. We're trying to build a 7-year strategic plan in 7 minutes. So, but thank you very, very much. Can we just share a little bit? You were all very chatty and I heard some excitement. Especially with this group. So there's some magic happening over here. If you don't mind just sharing a little bit, and then we'll use your piece of paper for the next question, but then we'll collect all the paper at the end of our morning together. So what does excite you about your work? We're on May 16th, 2031. What are you excited about today? About your work? That I'm alive. Excited about that.
Not dead.
Aging in a cool way.
Yeah, it's so cool, everybody's doing it.
Team building, mentoring, increasing the research workforce and improving the lives of our research participants and other community.
Fantastic, because we have such a great built environment that they want to be here all the time, right? Fantastic.
We talked about a few things, but one thing was the marrying of the development of AI with the baby boomer generation aging, and this I think growing interest in not dying, seeing about healthy aging and the emergence, I think, of more geriatric interest. So that was something we were excited about. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. On this side of the room, you were very talking. But I'm talking about what excites you. One of the ones we were talking about is trying to find ways for greater participation of older adults in their own care. That they're an active participant and they understand the information that they're being given and driven some of the healthcare decisions that are being made. Fantastic. I love that. Our geriatrics educating themselves. All right. Zoom friends, what did you come up with?
By the way, Rachel Cohen is
Yes,
right.
it's-
Lower, she's our facilitator.
Rachel, wave your hands. Come off mute. This is, yes, this is Rachel Cohen. Know her very well.
Hi, everyone. I can share from our group because we kind of ran out of time before we put anybody on the spot to share, so I'll just take it. So I can say that in our group, there was a lot of both excitement and interest in not only tapping more into the resources and the learning of the center, but also expanding opportunities like with the Coast-It program, recognition that it's just so needed, and seeing more older adults that just really need that connection. And then also starting to figure out ways to connect around addressing loneliness and social isolation for caregivers, and really being able to not only draw attention to that through education, but also, again, kind of tapping into the programs and the resources and bringing those pieces together along with older adults.
Fantastic. Thank you, Rachel.
Yeah.
Any others from Zoom land?
We do have comments in the chat.
Oh, there was a semi-urgent situation. Oh, that's not good. Okay, we'll make sure to save that too. Okay, so let's go ahead and do the last question. So if you can get back into your groups, Hillary's been terrific and is helping us with breakouts. So thank you, Zoom friends, for being flexible and patient. And then the next question was around integrating your work and how the center can help elevate and disseminate and steward and collaborate with you in your work. So go. There you go. You have 5 minutes.
It's terrible that hers. And then her, we have a free. Like.
5 minutes is really tricky, but thank you for the attempt. So, and thank you, Zoom friends, for going back and forth. Zoom, let's start with you for the second question.
Can you restate the question?
How will your work be integrated into the center? How can the center help elevate or collaborate your work? Oh, Katie, I see your hand up.
Yeah, so a theme from our group was just, it became this praise fest of you, Jodi, and how you have elevated the individual work that we've done and created such visibility and so many opportunities that, it's not necessarily our individual personalities to really be out there and networking so much and some of us don't have the swagger you do, and you have applied that and really created so many opportunities and so much visibility for our work, and we were just so grateful to you.
Oh, but I will not take full credit. It does take village. So I have to have something to talk about, and that you all are the subject matter experts. So it takes a team, but thank you so much, Katie. That was very, very sweet. All right. Right? We'll just give her a compliment. Okay, so in the room, trying to top that, people. Yeah, come on.
So we talked about using the aging center as a platform to then sort of just been a liaison to move that the principles of that into other populations that present with aging-like characteristics, so accelerated aging. So I'm biased, I like study cancer, interested in that, but sort of then create dissemination platforms and ways to help make their lives easier. So basically using what you do with the Center on Aging as a template and making their lives better from a cancer recovery.
That is, wow, love that. Okay, it's a work. So that across the different disciplines, like I think cancer. Yeah, sure. Okay, so that was great. All right, thanks, team. That was fantastic. Anyone else? Come on. We're gonna look at this corner.
Yeah, we were talking about I mean, we get too in the weeds, but we were talking about advocacy, and I think that's a way we can impact the community in a broad sense when we're not necessarily researchers, right? So we're talking about different ideas that we have, whether that's through rural education, and then like physical functioning, improving access to healthy aging physical activities for older adults, making sure that's accessed throughout all one.
The advocacy piece, obviously, I cannot stress enough. Because honestly, they need your expertise at the Capitol. They're creating, this legislation with not necessarily the right expertise. It's just people who like to testify. And you're like, wait, what? So having you all testify and having you provide content and expertise is really, really important. And we own that lane, really, as the academic medical campus in the state. So we can really play a big part. So thank you for addressing that advocacy piece. All right. Who else? Or Zoom live friends here? Do you have anything else? Okay. So thank you so much. Carrie and I are very appreciative of this exercise, and Rachel. This is going to help inform and, like we said, help Rachel create your day. But this is a process. It's not just a day. We're on a journey together, and we do have one day that we'll run together to brainstorm. But this is truly a journey, and so Rachel's going to help us navigate that journey, and the information that you all shared today will help inform that. So we have 5 minutes left. I wanted to leave some time for questions just about what was presented today, anything you're thinking about.
I just encourage everybody to think big. I think about like right? People go there all over the world because of the expertise they provide. And I love to have, that mindset of being in a place, oh, yeah, see you, or Center on Aging, or, Colorado, you've got it figured out. And we're kind of doing that in many respects with several of the programs that have gotten a lot of visibility. And so just, we tend to think incrementally, but kind of think big and share those as we go. Because it's an exciting time. And guess what? Everybody's doing it.
Round.
We're gonna need to, well, this will be one of the revenue streams.
Yes.
I like it. We're a little flag store, so visit my office. Give you a little deal. Come on. Hey, you gotta diversify the revenue pots, people. That is something we need to talk about.
Yeah.
The goal that I didn't spend a lot of time about, but the reality is, as you all know, geriatrics isn't flush with money. We really are gonna have to diversify our revenue buckets or streams. And the certificate in geriatrics actually is one that we're mirroring kind of what University of Rochester did. They open that certificate up to the public and they charge. And they have a ton of older adults that pay to be in that program because they just want to learn more about geriatrics. They're not going to be caring necessarily as a clinician, but they want to learn more about geriatrics. So we have to start putting dollars a little bit on what we're doing, thinking about things we're creating and licensing that. I'm working with CU Innovation on that right now. So think big.
I definitely like to change the name too. We look like something there and said they're on not dying.
Sponsored by the.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. We're all doing it. My God. Yeah, you're probably- wow, I'm worried. Oh, thank you. Katie, do you want to? Oh, Jim, sorry, Jim, please. Hi, Jim.
Well, hi, Jody, and thank you for that picture and the shout out. That was very kind of you. Man, you made me look good, so thank you. But the real thing is, in our group, we talked quite a bit about face-to-face contacts and opportunities to get connected with people face-to-face, kind of like the boots on the ground type thing. So I would really encourage you, when the summary comes out for this meeting, to list links to all the conferences that you referenced. The research conference that's coming up and those, and possibly the workforce conference going on at Longmont could have a little aspect to it. So make sure it's easy for everyone to find those links or rebroadcast them. That's my advice. Thanks, my friend.
I've seen you and great suggestion. I will add those links. All right, and Katie, do you want to summarize what you put in the chat?
Yes, in terms of, thinking big, I'd love to see the Center on Aging, the Multidisciplinary Center on Aging truly become an institution-wide resource that galvanizes all of the work happening to support aging well across the entire campus. And similarly, I'd love to see the centers on aging across the state break free of their federated model and really become an integrated network to really realize the potential of all of that collective capacity. Like, imagine what we could do, like if we had an ORS program across that whole network. Wouldn't that be fantastic?
We would. No, that's fantastic. In co-care, we're starting that a little bit, but you're exactly right. We need to be better about that. There are 3 centers on aging, just so you know, in the state of Colorado. CSU, DU has the Nobel Institute, CSU has the Columbine Health Systems Center on Aging, and then us. There is an aging center at UCCS, which is primarily in the Jerry Sonic lane, so it's very, very specific. We are the only, so I kind of don't count them as a center necessarily, but we're the only unnamed center. So if you do have a few $1 million, we'll gladly on center on aging, because that is another revenue bucket that we are working toward. So
Everybody's doing it.
everyone is doing it. So, all right, so we're not talking. Never forgot that. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for being here.
Thank you, Jodi.
Um,